to Xbox and PC. That's just the reality. What up? What up?
Welcome to the show. We're already sort of having the show in the green room before we started. So, hey guys, what's up? But my thing is like, I don't mind. Like, I have no problem with what they're doing. Like, I actually don't mind. We'll see where this goes. We don't know where it's going to end up. We don't know what the resulting consequences will be down the line. But how do we end up back here every time? And then saying things like, isn't all the talk about exclusivity now silly? Well, no, just because the Steam machine launched, that doesn't make that talk or the history of what exclusivity did silly in any way, shape, or form, and it's silly to say so. So, I mean, exactly to your point, like you were saying, like you get like that. I would argue that it still does. I mean, so I was sort of crunched the numbers and a little bit on like what sort of how many systems exclusive like Spider-Man 2 sold, and you can't get exact numbers, and Ragnarok, and it was around about 1.2 to 2 million, which is not a lot, right? When you look at the amount of systems in the wild, it's not a lot. But if you do that at a regular clip, you do that twice a year, that's anywhere from like 3 to 4 million systems sold per year, and then you sort of build that over the generation, and you make, you know what I mean? That value still exists. It's just that they're not happy with the amount of systems it's selling, and I would argue that Xbox didn't really have those big system sellers. But cool. Welcome to the show, everybody. I know we always end up back at this thing, and Holly's like, "Oh my God, are we doing this again?" It's not me.
Holly's like, every time we get out, they pull me right back in.
You're the only one who keeps bringing it back up.
It is you.
It's Jez.
You gotta let it go.
Gotta let it go. Yeah, he did. He brought it up. He's like, "Isn't that talk silly?"
But why are you engaging? Why is it like Jez said a thing?
Yeah. Someone has to say the truth.
No. They don't have to. They can choose not to. They don't have to. So you can choose.
They could.
The opposite. You know what I'm saying? You can be like, you know what?
Choose to enrich your perspective into a future.
Yes.
I'm enriching the gaming discourse is what I'm doing. Shout out to everyone in the chat. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thanks for the wait. Things have changed, or maybe it's a bit earlier. So things have changed. There's a whole daylight savings thing that you guys do. I don't know, like you literally can't save daylight. Where are you going to put it? In a daylight bank? Anyway, you can have daylight robbery. Ha ha! Sorry. Donte, welcome back to the show.
Yo.
He's like, that was so
hello. Yo.
How's your week been? What have you been up to? How's things?
Yeah, man. It's been a very, very busy week for work. Starting to get into that time of year for me. But outside of that, man, I was able to finally finish Outer Worlds 2. So I played that a good amount. Been playing a lot of. I really enjoyed that game too as well. So I had a really good time with that. Some small like mechanical gripes for like when you're shooting behind cover. Does it like sometimes your gun is hitting the cover as opposed to, and then I have to stand up and actually expose myself. So that's like a mechanical gripe. But outside of that,
I'm sorry.
Love this. What up? What's the question here?
You have to stand up and do what?
You gotta stand up and shoot, man. Got to stand up and shoot, and then you're exposed. And you don't want to, like, you're behind cover, right? You want to be like, you know what I'm saying? You want to be not exposed to a degree. And it's like, it's for like the bullets, I shouldn't have to stand fully up. You know what I'm saying? In certain situations, some angles. It's not always. There's certain angles I notice. I'm like, I'm behind this cover, and I'm shooting, and I got to kind of either peek out to the right and kind of expose myself more and then take some shots. So it's like, whatever. But whatever. I had a really good build.
Donte exposed himself. You heard it here.
I did. PG-13 version exposure though, so we're good in that regard. So yeah, finished that. Had a time with that. I gave that about 9 out of 10 actually for me, because I thought everything else on it was great. I love the character models. I love all the world building. I love like reading stories from all the different terminals. Like I actually took the time to read all the stories from the different terminals, right? And a lot of times in those games, depending on like if it's not something specific to the quest that I'm doing, I kind of like just skim through it real quick so I can just hurry up and get past all the little different things I'm opening. But I actually read like pretty much every one to figure out like, when I talk to someone and something is mentioned, I understood what was happening in the story. So to me, I think if a game can get me to do that, the writers have done a good job to make that stuff interesting for me. Outside of that, I've been playing a bunch of Arc Raiders with Holly and Colt, and I've been having a good time with that. for the most part, I would say it's like 70-30 of people, like between like 70% of people are cool and 30% are just like, hey, what's up? We're friendly. And they pop, pop, pop. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? They're just gonna go ahead and jack you anyway and grief you. But outside of that, like that was one of my concerns, was like, is because it reminded me, I was concerned from I had some what we call PTSD for my days of playing Sea of Thieves, where you're on a boat with friends having a great old time. You go pick up all this loot, and then here comes some random jackasses to jack you and sink your boat, and all that an hour of time is just down the drain of all the loot that you gathered that you couldn't make back to port. And so it's kind of like, I was afraid there was just going to be a lot of that. A lot of people just griefing you, waiting for you to extract and then jack you.
Mhm.
I mean, it happens as part of the game, but it doesn't happen a lot. Most people you encounter are pretty cool. So I've actually been enjoying that. And what else am I playing? That's actually it. That's Battlefield, of course. Playing a ton of Battlefield. But actually, you know what? I'm gonna make a confession. I'm finally playing a what do you call it? What's Warzone? What's it called? Help me out here. I can't use my words
Battle
today.
Royale.
Oh, Battle
I'm
Royale.
finally playing a
Yeah.
Battle Royale. I'm playing Red Sec, and I actually like it. And I usually hate
Hang on.
Battle Royales.
Are you playing
Right.
the Battle Royales, or are you playing the Gauntlet?
Red Sec. So you can do either duos or you can do quads, right?
Okay.
So I've been playing quads, right? And it's actually been pretty fun, right? I mean, there's some little glitches and stuff of things you got to work out, but in terms of the actual experience of dropping in and stuff, like I don't feel like it's too sweaty. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's still enough where if you get a decent enough squad, you can actually sit there and survive long enough and like whatever guns you pick up. Yeah, sure, it can help, but it's not going to make or break the game and stuff. So that's actually been pretty interesting, and I was kind of surprised because I thought I was like, I'll just stick to like playing Conquest and Breakthrough and stuff like that. But now I'm playing Conquest, Breakthrough, and I'm playing that. So so that's Battlefield continues to be the gift that gives. So outside of that, man, week's been chill. Happy to be here. I hope everybody's had a good weekend. Good week.
I wasn't really down with the Red Sec. I love the Gauntlet. Like I absolutely love that Gauntlet. Like that team-based play across different things. Like it's fantastic. We'll get into that. Holly, how's your week been? What have you been up to? How's things? What you been playing? What are you doing? Hi.
It's been 2 weeks since we were here, and I played 20 hours of the Outer Worlds and made it to the end of the first planet and realized that one of the companions that you can pick up on that planet was not around, and I was like, well, where
Why
is
is
she?
that?
And
What did I
I
do?
started looking around, and I looked it up, and it was like, no, she should show up here. She wasn't there. So then I went and did something to try to get her to spawn where she was supposed to be, which she did. But when she did spawn there, she was borked. And there was just this endless, like, one line that she would just repeat. And she would be standing and talking to another person, and their mouths would be moving with no words happening. And I was like, I don't think that's supposed to happen. So I looked it up, and there's apparently a glitch in the game that if you don't do this one quest before you do this other quest, that this happens, and it'll just break the game as far as like having any interaction with her. So I started over. So I lost 20 hours of game and redid the entire first planet. I'm on the second planet. But there were some good things that came out of it because I had taken a couple perks that I thought I probably would have done this differently had I known. And then I wound up
Dang.
actually getting
Ollie out there
several
taking perks. That's crazy.
or sorry, faults. Right? Is that what they are? Yeah, faults.
Yeah. Well,
The bad
flaws.
things, the
Flaws.
good for bad. Yeah,
Flaws.
flaws.
The
Thank
flaws.
you. Yeah. So, and then I also actually, because of her and needing to do things in a different order, I found a whole bunch of side quests that I hadn't found in the first one. So it was pretty good. I mean, that was a pretty good trade-off. I guess it just, it was a little too early to have to replay an entire planet. right off the bat. So I got a little frustrated with that, but Outer Worlds is one of my favorite universes of like all video games. So I was excited for that. But honestly, the thing that has all of my heart, my attention, and my love is Arc Raiders. I am totally obsessed with Arc Raiders. I love it. I think it is just super, super good, super, super fun. I have been playing mostly with friends. I did the other day go in for the first time solo, which I hadn't done because I wasn't really like, I was like, I don't know if I would like this solo. But I did. I gave it a shot and it was actually fun. And I met some nice people on the map and everybody was chill and cool. And it was really good to go and just do some of that like in between stuff, like going to pick up a couple things in buildings or, you know, some of those quests that you get. So that's mostly what we're doing. I can't wait till we're done with this podcast so I could go play more Arc Raiders, to be honest. So like, let's keep it rolling here, people, because I need to go play some more Arc Raiders.
Let's go, people. Let's go.
I'm having some camera issues for some reason. It's decided to walk.
Here you go. Here you go.
And I'll work on those in the background. And hopefully it will come good. But
usually does.
Don't buy a Mac, people. Don't buy a Mac. What have I been playing, man? I've been playing a lot of Helldivers just because I've been away. And it's one of those games that I can play on the S.
This dude never sends an invite if you're doing it. I never see you on.
Oh, yeah, it's usually you'll be asleep. It's usually when I finish work, I play for a couple of hours and then, but it's because it's PV. It's very PVE.
Yeah.
So like when I'm playing with people, I can still like, you know, obviously the servers will just sort of line everything up, so it works out pretty similar. If I'm playing Battlefield 6, I'm like I walk around a corner and I'm dead, and then I figure out why like 2 minutes later. There's been a bit this week, so we do need to get into it. I wanted to, while we're talking about Arc Raiders, Holly, where are you at with it? Like, you think it's pretty amazing? Because there's been some patch notes released.
It's phenomenal. And I did play, I was playing a little bit with Red and Colt right before this. They put a new map out. Yeah.
Raj. Yeah.
Starting yesterday. And it was very good timing of them to have their first additional content drop the day that Call of Duty drops. Like, they didn't even have to do that. People still would have played Arc Raiders more than this new Call of Duty, but it was sneaky good timing, right? To keep people who might have deviated away back to Call of Duty, to keep them in Arc Raiders.
So my son sent me as well as at work, he sent me a 7-minute video, which he's never done. Right. And obviously I was at work, so I'm like looking at my computer screen, doing some stuffs, whatever. And then I see this message come through. There's a video from my son. I'm like, what the? So I had it turned up. And then he starts out with like, all right, let's try this. And then I'm like, okay, I had to turn it down, obviously, because there's obviously other people around the office. So then I see him like angrily pointing at his fingers. Right. I wish I could show you right now. I'll do a reset in a minute. And when we're talking about another topic, but and he's pointing at his fingers like first of all, second of all, and I'm like, oh shit, what is going on? Something is wrong here. I'm gonna have to go outside. So I went outside, turned up the thing, and it's him bitching about Arc Raiders because he bought. It's like, first of all, right, this game is just like, it's so boring, and then blah blah, and I'm like, all right, I don't need to watch this whole thing. It's
not boring, like at all.
I feel like me and him, obviously he's my son, so me and him sort of very much align on how we sort of play games and what we sort of get into. So I still bought the game, and I'm keen and want to jump in with like people I know, and more play with people I know. So I've got a little bit of backup. And the best thing is that everyone's been playing for a bit. I haven't, and so I can sort of hook up with a team. And then, and then sort of follow people around and build up my sort of stuff and figure out all the stuff in the game. People can tell me what's going on instead of, because it seemed like it was going to be pretty complicated in that menu system right? The skills, the trees, I got that, and then there's obviously some OP skills that you want to get. I've been watching stuff online as well about it. Look, I think I'd probably get into it. It's just one of those like what did he say? He goes like, I don't want to play a game. I don't want to play a game when it takes me 7 hours to get into it and then to get enough stuff and just to build my stuff up so that I could just then continue to build my stuff up. Like, why do I want to play this game? And I was like, you sound like me. But I'm keen to give it a go, and everyone's loving it. So I mean, like, the more I see people really, really loving it, the more I'm like, there's probably obviously something to this game. I need to spend a bit of time in it. Really hard to break off from when I'm already, you know, balls deep, excuse the language, balls deep in Battlefield, in Helldivers, you know what I mean? I'm still trying to get all my stuff ranked up with that and collect samples and stuff. And oh god, it's not garbage. It's such a great game. It just keeps me coming back every time.
You should refer to Big Mo in the chat at this point in time for your slander about our creators.
What happened?
He said that doesn't matter. All I hear excuses.
Yeah, I just and then the other thing is I haven't
with the big Mo all caps.
I haven't picked up Outer Worlds yet either. Like I've played a little bit, so I think
so you got a backlog problem.
I got a real backlog problem, man.
Yeah,
like you do, real bad. It's a real, and this is the other thing I was just thinking about Outer Worlds when you were talking about like picking up everything and like reading it. I want to do that. I want to give Outer Worlds the time it deserves, and then read all the side stuff because I started reading it and I'm like, damn, this has taken a while to get through the prologue, right? So it took a little while for me to get to the point where you're like back on the you've woken up after that thing that happened, and then you know what I mean. Yeah. For people who haven't played it, I'm going to ruin it. So I got to there and I'm like, gee, man, this took a while for me to get here. I'm like, you know what I mean? It's going to take some time. And I want to give it the time it deserves. But there's so much stuff, man. Like, there's so much stuff to play. It's unbelievable. Look, before we move on to the next, I just want to have a little quick roundup. Ark, Donte, you've been playing Ark. What's your thoughts on it?
Yo, what's up? I'm on TV. Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm on TV. What's up, y'all? What y'all need? No. I mean, it's a cool game, dude. Like I've been having it for me at least. I really enjoy playing it with friends. Like I don't think I would go into solos the way Holly has, because you know, to me it's just that communication of hanging with friends, and then if something's going down and all the chaos is happening together, like that to me is the fun part of it. It's weird. I was talking to Colt and Holly the other day, and I was like, it's like the most chill, nerve-wracking game, right? Because for the most part, your runs are out there, kind of just scavenging for stuff. You can, if you see bots, for the most part, you can kind of avoid them unless they one happens to be running a patrol and you just got caught slipping. And so you're scavenging, and then you runs are usually within 20 minutes or so, 20, 25 minutes, sometimes shorter, depending on what time you came into the map. And so it's like, all right, we I got some things I'm full. Do you want to extract, or are we doing something that's kind of a mission that you picked up and then you just extract, and you're just kind of doing those runs. So that's kind of like the cycle, right? And did you get out without getting griefed, or did you get out and there was chaos, etc. It's that part though, on the not knowing who you're going to encounter, or not knowing if like yesterday we come into a game early and we're like, I'm going to try to get something accomplished with inside of the mission that I had picked up. And immediately we come across some guys who are engaging in a fight with a bunch of ARC bots, a bunch of wasps. So all right, we're gonna help them out. And what we failed to recognize is that there was a leaper right next to us. That things could have got so bad where we turn around a corner and go around this building, and I'm like, that's a leaper, and we rotate back around. And luckily, it hadn't seen us. But that thing, once it sees you, it could jump clear across the whole map and just wreck your whole day. So somehow we managed to escape a bunch of chaos, and that whole part right there, we actually end up making it out of all that because we encountered a bunch of other dudes later. Some dudes who actually even knew Colt, because he came across us and stuff, and he didn't know us but knew of Colt. And then he's like, we're like, hey, we're friendly. And the guy's like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, we're friendly too. And I needed to get lemons and stuff. And he's like, all right, you can go here to this particular part of the map and everything like that. And then as we're leaving, he's like, later, Colt. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. He's like, that hasn't happened to me. But it's pretty just chill to come across players who are just for the most part, having fun. Some players are just, they don't care. But that's the loop roughly within the game. And I think that's still pretty cool, because I don't think I've even gotten to the part of being able to unlock the bigger objectives. You know what I'm saying? Like as people start to move and they take down the queen and all the bigger mechs that are in the game and build, you know, like their better loadouts. Like I'm like level 10. And so for me, I'm still like pretty young in this, but definitely having fun. I definitely see like the allure that it has. But for me, like I have to play it with friends as opposed to like by myself. I wouldn't like I can go into Helldivers solo and just jump in with randoms. It's no big deal. But this one is one that preferably it would want to be with friends. So
yeah, I think it's going to be one of those games you're going to have to play with people, 110%.
Yeah,
I'll got my camera back, so yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'll jump on with the boy and you guys if I see you on. I'll jump in for a bit and give it a go. But I mean, I purchased this game. I think you should support games that are sort of, this is a first from the studio, X-Dice developers. Obviously
They
got some
made the
skills and
finals.
talent. Oh, yeah, but
made-
yeah, they did, yeah. Yeah.
And Patrick
That's true.
Sunderland was the head of Battlefield from EA.
Yeah, Dice, yeah.
Yeah, and he left.
Yeah, the original, it's the
Yeah.
original Dice team, which obviously they got talent, like a lot of talent. I'd like to see where this game goes. I feel like it's they haven't like super invested in. I mean, I don't say it looks bad. It doesn't look terrible. But they haven't like that. Their focus has been the gameplay loop. I feel like, and you know, it hasn't got the. I don't know. It's not the big.
You
It's not a
haven't
big
played it.
triple A.
You haven't really
I have.
played it.
I played
like,
it a bit.
Well,
Yeah.
like with all the stuff unlocked, right? You played the beta.
I did.
Yeah.
I like the chicken. Chicken's great. But yeah, I'll jump in and play a bit. I really want to play Outer Worlds. Look, I'll just jump to quickly. Lotus Esprit dropped 3 memberships in the chat there. Holly,
Shout out
BT
to Lotus.
Maverick,
many thanks,
And-
Lotus.
and Cullen Prime as well. So shout out to you, Lotus. Much appreciated. And Game Seeker in the chat there. He said, have a good show, guys and girl.
Hey,
and
one other thing, just real fast about Arc Raiders. It is the best optimized game that's using UE5 currently. They stripped away all of the BS and just used the core, and it is smooth as a button. It is gorgeous. It has
Very
some
great audio too.
fantastic audio. Like
Yeah.
really
perfect.
good audio.
It's really, really good. No, it
is a
has a little
DOS
bit of a
signature.
desync issue, but beyond that, the best showing of a UE5 game, I think, so far, overall, just in all of the aspects of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that yeah, it's a really good job of implementation of using, especially for something that's multiplayer like this, right? Because a lot of the, I mean, I've seen like good use of UE5, but for the most part, it's been like kind of linear games or multiplayer or like limited multiplayer, unless it was like the Coalition doing something for Gears, right? But this one, considering all the stuff that it has going with the proximity chat and
Game
all
chat's
the
so
different
good.
players within the map, right? I think they've done a fantastic job in terms of showing you like what could be done. So that makes me feel a little bit better too for like Halo in terms of multiplayer in a regard, because I'm like, okay, if they can do this in this large kind of open world sandbox, then I would hope that whatever Halo Studios is doing, that they can basically make sure they keep the same quality and don't mess it up. So we'll see.
Yeah, and no stutter. There's no stutter, like every
Yeah.
other UE5 game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Right.
there's no stuff. I've been noticing any issues where I'm kind of like, oh man, that's a performance issue or something, just kind of lags and bogs down. Even when it becomes kind of chaotic,
It's got a
I haven't
little
seen anything
desync
crazy.
issues.
I can literally, I mean, Magnum in the chat says, where's Umbra? I can literally hear him right now going, yep, you'll be fine. Mm-hmm.
Yep. You'll be fine.
I can literally hear him doing it right now. Well, speaking of Halo, before we go on, please like button, share us out. We go live 8 p.m. EST every
Hit that
some
button.
Fridays. Some Fridays.
7 EST, 7:30.
7:30 EST because daylight savings. Why? Daylight robbery. It's still a great joke. It's a great joke. Just talking about Halo, I wanted to quickly jump to because I know that. Look, I know me and Donte are big Halo fans. Holly loved the campaign, but not a big fan of the multiplayer, which is fair enough. It's less twitchy. It's a little bit more spongy.
Yeah.
And it takes a bit of getting used to. It took me a little while to sort of come back from the COD, to the Halo. But it received its final update. So with multiple Halo titles in development, we'll need our whole team's combined focus to deliver new experiences with the same passion and care that our community has given us. While we remain committed to supporting Halo Infinite on the road ahead, Operation Infinite is the last major content update. And I wouldn't really call it a major content update. It's like a battle pass, some XP stuff, nothing like huge. Oh, it's a bit disappointing, dude. Like that they were never able to bring it back. You know what I mean? I don't feel like that they threw everything they could have at it, and just the slow roll of content that came out on its release. It was such a solid game. Like, it was just such a like, the campaign was good.
Performance was good.
Performance was good.
It's a solid 60. And if you're running it on a higher, if you're running it on like a PCR or 100, what was it, 120 FPS? If you could,
you could do 120 FPS on the Series X too. Yeah,
still rock solid.
Yeah, it was a good game. Good multiplayer, man. Good maps. But the content was just a really slow roll, and it choked the life out of it. It was really, really disappointing. And I guess sort of looking ahead, we've got the Halo CE remake coming out, which doesn't have a multiplayer component, which is, I guess a little bit disappointing. I feel like that they could have added. Probably should have added that in. Let's be fair, and maybe that would have been a little bit more. Would have dragged some more players. I think from PlayStation, you could have dragged some more people in that way, and then sort of get them addicted to the crack, and then sell them the next big thing.
I think I have a reason as to why I think they didn't. Because like people, like fans of CE, right, we're used to how the multiplayer plays and how it still plays probably if inside of the Master Chief Collection, right? And so you got the way the game plays now within Infinite. That's gonna like that. You know what I'm saying? That might be a little bit jarring as to like where it has evolved. And if you so you would have people who are like, if you tried to make it somewhat similar to Infinite in terms of how it plays, people who are fans of CE playing it would be like, oh, this isn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a Halo remake, but this doesn't play the way Halo multiplayer played for CE. So you might have that, you know what I'm saying? Like that split base of people complaining. And so it's kind of like, all right, just give them the campaign, get them wet to the idea of Halo. And then whatever the next main iteration is, it's people who play Infinite on will still be like, okay, this feels modern compared to the people who really are holding on to old school Halo. So you like keep those people with Master Chief Collection as opposed to whatever, like what we want it to be going forward.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I would like to have seen what it also personally would like to have seen how it's going to run in UE5, like in regards to multiplayer and sort of how that works.
Yeah. And also, it's like, how long do you have to support that too, right? Because if you added multiplayer into it, and then whatever the next main Halo game is supposed to be, you can't support both, right? You can't do here's a CE remake on both, and we're basically giving multiplayer supporting content updates for both versions. That you're going to split the base in that regard. So it makes sense to me why they didn't include it.
It's true. I get it. And that does make 100% sense. Isn't it just a bit disappointing to see where Halo Infinite went? Like once I played that in 2021 when they did the first sort of playtest thing, everyone was playing it. Everyone was super hyped. Amazing. 6 months later, we've had nothing. There was no content drop. And it's like, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And they just didn't achieve it. And looking ahead, what I hope is that we've learned from that. Right, you know what I mean? I think a good way to do it is what I think people used to complain about a decade ago. It is like they're holding content back, but hold a bit of content back, right? And then drop that content, 2 months down the line, 3 months down the line, and then just slow roll that not slow roll, but like at a decent clip, roll that content out. And so you're keeping the game alive, exactly like Arc Raiders did. Like Holly was saying, like they had that content. Was likely finished a month ago, and they dropped it at exactly the right time. You pick your times where you deliver the content to keep that game alive, keep it rolling. Yeah. I think Helldivers is running into a similar problem now, where they smashed out content. Things have seemed to slow down a little bit. Everyone's sort of hit the level cap, and you start to see the player numbers drop off. And it's just with these live service games, you've got to keep that content rolling. And if they don't do that, it'll just slowly choke the life out of your game. It was disappointing to see where Halo went, and I'm hoping that in the future that they've learned that lesson, and the next drop, the next game is like not the same. Holly, you sad for Halo getting its last content update? How you feel?
Devastated.
Look at her. She so much she can't even get the words out. She's just kind of like choked up. Thank you, Holly. We appreciate you.
Sorry.
We appreciate you. Let's pour one out
Better
for the
for
last
me to say
update for Halo.
nothing than anything that
Pour one
would
out.
offend the Halo fans, right?
There you go. There you go. Smart girl. Smart girl.
She's all over it. She's all over it. Cool. We'll move to the next. So I just wanted to call that out because it is a bit of an end of an era. That's last of the Slip Space engine. That's last of the original engine with the duct tape, the rubber bands holding everything together. Now we move into the new era of Halo, the one that's shout out to Special Nick in the chat. What's up, Nick? Been a while, actually, man. Good to see you, dude. So Steam Machine, we got to talk about that. Ooh, there's a bit here. I'm seeing a lot of discourse, a lot of vitriol, man. A lot of people get really upset about this. I was like, why are you upset about this? It's just a PT. I don't know why I need it. What's the difference between this and a PC? It's like, well, this is for people like me, right? This is for people exactly like me. They're like, PC. I don't want to deal with the drivers and shit. But I can go get a box, stick it under my TV. Oh, here we go, Mo's. I'm gonna stop for Mo here. Right? He's got the caps. It's a paragraph. Let's read this one out. I told you it was sunset the last time we talked. Why are you talking about it? You don't even know how to play Halo. I mean, I will crush you in Halo, bro. Don't even. Crush you like a paper cut, bro.
Mo never
fold
changed.
like a cheap suit,
Mo. Never changed, Mo.
Fold like a cheap suit. Well, I mean, we're cross seas, so it's hard to. Obviously, I'll win because I'll play in my servers. Holly knows what I'm like.
He shoots you if there's friendly fire. That's all. He's like, the game is to shoot my teammates if there's friendly fire. That's it. That's the game.
Don't put your head in the way of my bullets, man. That's all I'm saying. You put your head there, I can't be responsible.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger. Right. Cool. So there's a lot to talk about around this, and a whole bunch of different things came out. It's like, I thought the specs would be the thing, right? It would be the price we would be talking about. But then all of a sudden it was like, Jez is like, oh, that exclusivity conversation seems silly now. People are like, why do I need a PC under my thing? It was like, everyone was talking about the shit that like, I don't think is very relatable to the Steam Machine, which is like, what's the specs looking like? And I've seen people saying it's basically a Series S PC. I'm like, I don't think so, dude. Like, I think it's, and I'm not a PC expert, so, you know, you say something to Garuda now in the chat, and Garuda like puts on his specs, you know, and he's like, well, actually, the Horizon, the 7.6 is comparable to the VRAM in the Heidenhau. And I'm like, whoa, too much for me. But based on what I can see, this sort of sits somewhere between the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, right? Like it's I think it's an 8 teraflop machine, but based on the new tech in it, and the new FSR and all that sort of stuff, the newer chips, you know, sort of mid-range chips, and slightly older but newer, if that makes sense, than the Series X and the PlayStation. It sort of sits in between, man. Power-wise is comparable. Having a look at Digital Foundry sort of going through it, they're pitching it as a 4K, and they always do this shit. You can see it on the box up there. It's like 8K gaming on the PlayStation, 4K gaming on the they're pitching it as a 4K sort of 60 FPS machine. I don't see it there, but I'd be happy with this if it's sat at a 1440p sort of 60 FPS. I'd be pretty happy with have this box. But I get, for me, that it comes down to price, right? And I get the feeling, and I could be I have doubts about this, and I there's a few people that are saying like this is probably going to sit around the 400, 500 US mark. But for me, I feel like this is going to be like the 800,000 mark, and I'm not. I think we might be in that era, right? Everyone's pumped up their price. I know a lot of people saying no, and there's a lot of people saying yes, it's around there. There's a couple of experts saying they think it'll sit around the 1,200 mark, and there's a couple that are saying it'll sit around the 1,200 mark. I think it was F
In
Squared's Michael
what?
Futter said
Oreos?
he expects
What are
the
you-
starting price
What are
to
you
be
saying?
between
Are you talking about
800
US dollars or Australian?
US.
US? Okay.
Yeah. So
1,200 for the Steam machine?
yeah.
No way. Absolutely. Not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he said 1,000 for the 2 terabyte edition and an 800 for the 512 edition. There's a lot of people talking around about the 400 is the sweet spot. I don't see 400, man. Probably about 500. I think would.
Wait,
I
512? There's a 512 edition?
There's a 512 and a 2 terabyte, right? Mhm.
Yeah.
Like I would see,
And
I would think that like
why you would get a
81 right now.
512?
Yeah,
I
like
don't know.
1 terabyte
But
is
it
like
has
the minimum.
it has an
right?
SD slot that you can
Oh,
use
okay,
to,
okay,
and
that you
also
can
store
slot in?
games on it. So
Okay.
that's why.
Yeah.
And
then
not
but-
like not proprietary for SD, right? Where it's like
No,
okay,
it's
No.
basic.
they're specific. Okay,
It's
cool.
a basic.
Yeah. So yeah, look, I don't know. Price wise for me, if it hits, so Australian, that would probably work out to be 400 is about 800, 750, so give or take. So I think if it hits around about the 800 mark, Australian for me, I'm happy with that. That's fine. I would probably go and pick one up. But if you're looking at like if it starts creeping up to the 800 US mark, I'm like, hell no, I'm not getting that thing. And especially want to wait for the Xbox.
Would you buy the 512 or would you only buy the 2 terabyte?
I would probably get the 512 and then just get the upgrade.
Expansion.
Yeah,
Expansion card.
Is what I would do, because realistically, I don't have a massive Steam library, so anything I get on Steam will probably be Steam exclusive or something. You know what I mean? Like, God, what was that game? And I loved it. Moon Studios, and they're still developing
No Rest for
it.
the Wicked.
The rest.
No Rest for
Yeah.
the Wicked.
I would
You
probably
say
get that. Yeah.
You say that, but what's going to happen is if this machine is very easy to use, then you're going to start looking at prices and you're going to see how much cheaper it is to buy a game from
Steam
Steam
sales gonna get
itself
you.
or from third party like CD Keys or Green Man Gaming or something like that, and then you're going to figure like that's how it happens. That's how it happens. It's just that you're going to have a PC, Riskit.
No,
It's a PC.
it's not a PC. This is a console PC. Well, I'll accept console PC and
PC's still in the name.
it
No
has
PC in the name.
it doesn't have, it's a console computer. All right,
Is
so it's a
Oh.
console C. Console
Yeah.
C. We don't need
Console
the
PC.
No, it's not a PC. It's
Console
a
PC.
console
PC?
C. Console C.
Console PC. It's fine.
Console C. Console C. It's a console C.
It's fine.
It is absolutely
It's
fine.
fine. Yeah.
All right, show's over. That's it. So there's a fair bit to sort of talk about with this, and I want to go through like all of it. There's a couple of things that got me really excited. One thing that hasn't got me excited, Holly, I want to jump to you about this because I saw you make a comment, and I was like, I am with you 100%. The controller. How are you feeling about that controller?
Mm.
Like they're
Mm-mm.
so look, I think they did a really good job with their marketing pitch on this thing. I thought the little commercial was great. The fact that they have that that panel on the front that you can buy customized panels, I thought was really good idea. And the VR headset, I'm actually really excited about that VR headset. That was a win because that you could play native games. You don't have to have it connected to the PC. I thought that was really cool. And then they bring out this all the words controller that's like fat and has like
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You don't think that's the most comfortable looking thing in the world?
some kind of goiters like hanging on the bottom of it, and I'm like, dude, like it just, I mean, besides the aesthetic, right? Take away the aesthetic of it, doesn't look great, whatever. I genuinely don't understand the ergonomics of it, and maybe it's just one of those things that you just have to pick up and feel. But like, you know, part of the reason that both controllers, Xbox, PlayStation, I prefer the Xbox controller, right? But like part of the reason that it is so comfortable is you can like get a really good grip around the grips. In this thing, it looks like you can't grip it right. Like it looks like your fingers can't wrap around far enough to like have a comfortable grip. Shut up. I don't know. You are the only one that goes to the gutter every time. I just don't know how you. I don't know how you are comfortable with this. It looks like it'll give you some sort of carpal tunnel or something,
Yeah,
right? Or like your
because
grip is just gonna like be
how far do you have
just
to
it's weird.
push your thumbs up? So already it's like
Yeah,
it's
right?
symmetrical,
Yeah.
right?
Like yeah.
And how do you get your thumb? Like I've got pretty decently sized hands. Like how is you're going to be tilting your
And
whole
then
hand sort of forward,
what are those below that you even really need that? Like, do you
right?
Are
need
they like
that?
track
The
pads? Are like track pads or something like
there's a
that?
trackpad and what was there was a gyro one, I think, too,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And I'm like,
yeah.
"Why, brother? Why? Why, brother?
And
I don't get
well,
it."
because why, brother? Very Garuda. Why, brother? You, brother. It trackpads for me is like it seems like they won't let go of it. It's like what they said was we got a lot of feedback on the Steam Deck and like people are using them. I'm like, well, maybe to navigate, and maybe that's where I would use it. Like maybe to navigate like as a trackpad mouse type thing when you're up in the OS, but I'd never be using that for the game. And then gyro, I mean, man, no one's using gyro, man. That's like old
Yeah.
tech that came out a while ago, and it was like, oh, great, and then it was like, oh, it's really not that great when
It
you know what I
it would
mean?
be better if they had an attachment that you could buy separately, kinda like the little keyboard that you could buy that fit into your Xbox.
Yeah, yeah,
And then if you want the gyro, if you want the trackpad, etc., you would buy the little thing that can and just connect it in, right, when you needed it or wanted it. Then it would probably be a perfectly fine controller.
yeah.
That's my
Controller
thought.
bad. Dante, how you feeling about controller side of things?
No, I mean, look, I'm going to guess that they probably spent a lot of money in research and development on that thing, and
Yeah,
I would
it's
hope that they've had
probably
enough feedback that it's probably going to feel better than we expect. We're just kind of going off of what we see for what it looks like. So I think it's going to be a thing where it's either going to be like, oh, it turns out this thing is very, very functional, and they nailed something, or it's going to be the opposite, right? Where it's kind of like, all right, good job on the box, but terrible job on the peripherals, right? Your controller needs, you guys need to go back to the drawing board on that. But I think it's like it's one or the other. I don't know if it's going to be an in between. For me, overall, for the box, I think it is. Yeah, I think it'd be cool for someone who is, like maybe they want something entry level in the PC, but they don't want to go out and spend thousands of dollars to build their own PC. So it's kind of like the no frills approach to get access to Steam, which I think is cool, especially if that thing comes in like sub $1,000, right, or just a little bit over $1,000 compared to like like my niece just built her first rig, and I'm like, send me the specs, and she spent like $4,500 on her rig. Right. So the
wow.
average person who probably wants to get into PC gaming, but not necessarily want to purchase a PC, this might be a perfect entry point for them. For me, like I'm probably not going to be in the market for it because I still don't want to in any way compromise my Xbox library. Right. And even if I can get to it through yeah, sure. If it's Steam, I would have the ability to. I'm assuming maybe someone do PC Game Pass some way to it.
Yeah,
Is
you
that, would
can.
you have access
You
to it,
can
right?
you can
Would you?
you can drop
Would you
Windows
be
on
able to
it. So
sign
you
in?
can
You
You
can
can
sideload Windows on
silo. Okay.
this.
And it's like I'd
Yeah.
rather not have to go through all that, right? I just rather I want the offering. I want to see what Microsoft's offering is, so that way I can if I can do that and still have access to the Steam stuff, but also have my hundreds of games that I have on the Xbox side. That's kind of what I care about. But now to me, it paints a clear vision as to what Microsoft was seeing as to what they want to do. So what they have to do is really execute, right? Whatever their next console is going to be, they have to really execute. And I'm hoping that they execute on having it being more powerful, right? Because that's the thing also as well. Like if it's going to be a premium device, it can't
It
come in
definitely
performing,
will.
it can't
Yeah.
come in performing just a little bit better than whatever this box is.
I think it's gonna
Or
be double the price of what this is, but it'll be more powerful for sure. And
so
it'll
you
be
think
Windows based. I
what's the
I
price you
think
think
this
this
is
one will be?
I
You think
think that the specs on this are underwhelming,
okay,
especially because when you consider where we're at and the longevity of something like this, right?
yeah.
Like we're not doing this every 2 years, right? It's probably a minimum of every 5 years or whatever, right, that they're gonna do this. So, I know that the Switch 2 just came out with probably somewhat similar specs actually to this, or is at least comparable to the compute power, but like this Nintendo's different, right? Nintendo
Yeah.
is just its own thing. It's not running
Very.
so like I think this thing is sort of underwhelming considering that it's going to be, there's longevity moving forward. So the reason I think they did that and the VRAM in it is very low.
Yeah, it's very
Mm.
minimal.
The VRAM is very low, which is a problem. But I think they're relying on a lot of AI stuff to fill in the gaps. But I think it's a great machine for the most economical price point of being in PC gaming. And I think that's why the specs are what they are, is because
Yep.
they wanted to keep it a very low average price. I think it'll come in. I think the 512 will be pretty comparable to a Nintendo Switch 2 in price. And then I
So
think
you're thinking sub 500. You're thinking for something.
I think well the Switch 2 is 450, right? So I would put this between 450 and 550 for the 512.
Okay.
And then I think the other one is probably between 6 and 7.
So like $799 for the two.
Yeah, between 650 and 750, I would say, because just
Okay.
more,
Mhm.
more anyway.
Which
that's
again,
what-
if
that's
you're
what-
someone who wants to do PC gaming without spending thousands of bucks, I think that's a perfect little entry point, right? To gain access to
you
to
could
Steam.
buy a comparable PC pre-built right now to an Xbox Series X for like $750. So,
Yeah.
so this
But this
shouldn't
is
be-
minus the maintaining and updating upgrades and all that stuff in terms of like
exactly.
driver
Well,
stuff and all that stuff, right? This is more
hopefully-
like I'm hoping,
hopefully-
Yeah,
right?
no, it
You're
is.
just getting
Hopefully
something.
they
You're
have a
getting
No, no,
something
streamlined
they-
process
they-
for
so they-
updates.
right?
Yeah.
So they
Like,
spoke on the whole updating and the drivers thing, and that's all going to be handled back end through Steam's OS.
Okay,
So
that's
if you
what I
keep, if you're side loading Windows on, like obviously you'll have to maintain that, but they will cloud maintain the Steam OS and the drivers and all that sort of stuff. So you'll be able to, as they said, this is the for the console player, the PC for the console player that just wants to boot up their thing, jump straight into
plug and play.
Steam.
Jump straight in.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about I want to tweak settings.
it's
I don't
got
want to have
like
to lower.
It's got like a quick resume sort of thing happening on it as well. But there's a few things just with what you guys were saying as wanted to sort of jump in on. One of the good things about this controller being terrible is that you don't have to purchase it with the actual console. Yeah, so it's
You
like
could
a
just buy
separate
it. You could
purchase.
just use an Xbox One. You don't have
Exactly
to use,
that.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
people who have Xbox or PlayStation controllers are just kind of like, hey, I don't have to purchase your device, right? But you
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
miss out on whatever functionality the trackpad and stuff is doing by not having.
Correct.
Right? That's my guess.
Yeah. But I'm sure
Yeah.
you can also just load a mouse and keyboard to it too.
You can.
So
Yeah,
You
they said
can,
you,
yeah.
they said you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is that just in terms of functionality between this Steam machine and what the Xbox version is going to be is that absolutely case closed, ignoring all the specs of the hardware. The Xbox version is going to be absolutely infinitely better and easier if you play in more than one location. Steam is very much built to be Steam and Steam only, like with the Steam Deck, right? Like you can't get to Game Pass, you can't get to Epic, you can't get to GOG, and all of the other things without doing some shenanigans on the side. And I expect the Steam machine is going to be slightly more open, but not really that much more open, unless you go through all this
You're
like
talking about,
side loading.
location stuff? Like location stuff that might become an issue for traveling with it, or what?
No, I'm talking.
Or just
I'm
meaning
talking
like
about
not
storefronts.
access to, okay.
You can't.
so
You can't just
what
access
Xbox wants to do
those
is
other
access
storefronts.
to Epic, Steam, plus their library.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
They're gonna have besides just Windows based like Xbox things, you're going to be able to access the Epic Store, itch.io, GOG, Steam, all of those very like they're just going to be there and available, right, for you to open and use. Whereas Steam is going to make you go through a whole lot of hoops to figure out how to sideload these other things. You could do it. Of course you could do it. That's why they promoted it, because they don't want it to look totally walled garden. But it's
Absolutely
going to
not.
take a lot more on the end user
Yeah.
to figure out
They're not
how
going to
to
make
do
it
those
easy for you
things.
to get outside
Right.
of their particular library or their ecosystem. So I get it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's cool. So yeah, I mean, to me, that is getting to the place I wanted us to be in, right? For in terms of like whatever hardware is coming next. If a lot of games end up becoming a situation where you can play them on different types of hardware, how you differentiate your hardware is going to be the selling point, right? Or how you get people to say, "Why am I purchasing whatever the next Xbox is over what the Steam system or whatever the next PlayStation is," right? So to me, like it's going to be things like that, right? Accessibility to different storefronts, maybe power and performance of the device, ease of use. Those type of things are going to be the things that like Microsoft has to nail to say, this is why you should pick up, especially if you're an Xbox user. This is why you should pick up the next Xbox device that does a lot of the same thing the Steam device is going to do instead of the Steam device, right? So,
Yeah.
and
Well,
that's a place I want them to live at if you're building hardware. Make me
100%.
as a consumer say this is why I want to get yours versus the other person's.
Why do I want the hardware as opposed to this is where I can play? This is the only place I can play these games.
Right.
Which is the net benefit. I would say, second order consequence of not having exclusivity. So there is positives as well, and I'm willing to 100% admit those. But so Holly, sort of to your point on and you as well, just there, Donte, is the power, the mid range, sort of where we're coming in at. They have just reading through a few articles. They said, or one of the engineers said that they are looking at democratizing the OS, the Steam OS. So it's available for third-party hardware makers. So, for instance, they did say that they weren't gonna spread it around to like last time, where they just had like a lot of like absolute monster, horrible, terrible Steam machines, because that was a problem last time. So what they're going to pick they're going to pick a few hardware developers, like Lenovo, for instance, and they'll have a third-party box, which is something we sort of talked about with the Xbox, which would be more powerful. And what I'm hearing, I'm like, I like the idea of this, and I'm sort of down. But there is the next Xbox coming, and there is the opportunity for Steam to again hand off sort of to third-party hardware developers, so we end up with like a more powerful version. And that's probably something that I would wait for, and I'm kind of keen to see sort of how it goes. But depending on price, again, to your other point, which is if it's landing at around about the $700 mark, I'm happy to jump in now and play the Steam machine, and then when something more powerful comes along, the next Xbox or the next Lenovo Steam machine, just upgrade to that. That to me works. It sort of does lend credence to the argument where I'm a little bit like, I just feel like this generation is pushing the prices up of everything, but it does lend a little bit more credence to the argument to say it'll probably land around about the $5, for the 2 terabyte, for the say 550 sort of mark. I would hope. I think that would be the smart move, and it seems like you're right. I think they're positioning themselves to do that. But I'm just, how many times you see a gaming company do the thing that doesn't make sense? You know what I mean? Like release it at like a ridiculous price. It's like, dude, you just killed your own system. Like, why would you do that? Take the hit and drop the price. And as well, just the talking about how they're saying it's a 4K 60 box. It's really not, man. This is a 1080p box, 100%, like with upscale. Obviously, they've got the FSR3. They haven't even got FSR4 running in there, but they've got the FSR3. It does seem like it's a generational box, like it was launched for this generation. Probably should have come out in 2020, and I think if it came out in 2020, be a lot different of a discussion as opposed to what we're having now, which is like, yeah, this is this generation box. It doesn't look like it's the generation we're leading into's box, right? And leaves the door open for Xbox and PlayStation, and maybe they didn't want to have that sort of that power struggle war, and they just wanted to enter in like this, just dip their toe in the water, see what the sales are like, and then obviously ramp it up for the next generation. And it sort of begs the question, like, now that they've launched, what are we, like 5 years into the gen? So maybe Steam's sort of next step is like Xbox launches their powerful system, PlayStation follows up with their powerful system, then Steam comes in with their powerful system, and so throughout the generation there's always sort of like a new piece of hardware coming out for people to be looking at and with more power. I actually like that, like, because then it's sort of like upgrading your PC, right? You get a new something more powerful comes out, new CPU or whatever. You know, and you're spending around about say anywhere from 200 to 500 US on a new part, right? So for me, it's like, all right, cool. I'll just get the next. Especially when it's Steam and Xbox, because if those games are then going to become transferable, you know, Xbox drops theirs, it's this powerful. Steam drops one 5 years later that's more powerful, and I can still play my Xbox games over there. I would be happy to just keep hopping between the systems, right? And that upgrade, and that way I never have to touch a PC. Yeah.
Here you go. Here you go.
Hell yeah. Sorry. You didn't see that coming. But yeah, look, I like this. I think one of my arguments about the whole exclusivity thing is like is the second third order consequence. This actually brings a new dynamic, a dynamic in that is against my previous concern, which is like competition within the industry. Because the last thing that I wanted was PlayStation being left alone to do whatever the hell they wanted without any competition. That was a concern for me. I'm like, well, where is this going to lead for the console sort of space? And for me as a console player, and I just did not want to end up. And now that we've got that extra player in the market, sure, puts more pressure on. I don't know what you're laughing at, but I'm curious now. Puts more pressure on the.
Judah Roar says someone isn't getting the next Xbox since it's a PC.
It's not a PC, mate.
Got him.
It's a console.
Got him.
Definitely.
Got him.
Definitely did not get me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got
him. Yeah, for me, this is good. This is great. I think this is great for the industry. Provides that competition. There's so much that we could look at positively, and I was just really surprised. I think Twitter's just that place where you go to be negative. I can only see this as a net positive all around. I can't see any negatives with this at all. So, again, like I said, if it's in that price point, I'll jump in. The other thing, which is what I wanted to jump to, and Holly, you sort of mentioned it. Let me just quickly run through the specs for this. Is the Steam frame, which I have not had really an entry point into VR gaming, and I went VR gaming twice ever in my life at like a place that does the whole thing, right? Loved it, man. It was really, really fun. I actually really, really like it, and I would definitely have that as a thing if it was an option for me. Not on PlayStation because they're just not supporting it, and the ecosystem's not. The games aren't there to justify the purchase. I mean, Holly's is still in the box, right? So,
got me.
So yeah, the Steam frame. It's look, it's around about 500 grams. So not too heavy to sit on the head, right? I think my headset it's about 500 grams. It feels like it sometimes. It's using which I think is quite interesting. It's using an ARM processor, so it's a Snapdragon, 4 nanometer 8 Gen, 3 ARM 64, 16 gig unified. I don't know what all this stuff means, but it's DDR5X. It's got Wi-Fi 7, 6 gigahertz streaming. It is wireless, has a wireless adapter on it. Low latency, they're saying it's pretty low latency. The storage is 256 gig or 1 terabyte. So, you know, depending on price, and there is a micro SD card slot for external storage in the actual headset as well. So super awesome. I don't know what pancake optics means, right? But it's got a refresh rate of 144
Sounds
hertz.
Delicious.
I think it means that you can, and from what I saw in the pictures, so if you're playing just a normal straight up run of the mill game, you can like stick it to a wall, whatever, and it's like acts like a screen.
Yeah.
I think that's what it means, but I'm not 110% sure. It's got 4 times outward facing monochrome camera for controller, headset tracking, 2 interior cameras. It has foveated streaming, so it like watches your eyes. It'll wake on your eyes and also track your eyes across the screen, which means that the other thing that it does is when it's tracking your eyes, it'll obviously beef up the resolution on that's where you're looking, and drop the resolution in your peripherals. So you can get a higher resolution, higher refresh rates, which is super good, which is something that the PlayStation, whatever that monstrosity thing was that they brought out, their headset had the same thing, which I thought was really, really cool. Doesn't work on the PC, unfortunately. Yeah, so look, and it's got the Steam OS on it as well. So for me, I'm probably, and this works independently, can work independently of the Steam box. So I can just have this lying around the house, and this is what I'm playing. So for me, I was like, this was probably my most exciting thing of the whole thing. I'm like, that is perfect because it means that I can get this, and then if I want to get the Steam box to complement it, I can, but I can get this independently, and I've got an option to jump into VR gaming. The Meta 3, bit expensive, sort of for what it is, and I wasn't. I don't know, but this to me seems like it's for the gamer, like right. It's all for the gamer, whereas the Meta 3 has that whole like functionality, has all this stuff, and I wouldn't be using it for that. I'd just be using it for gaming. 144 hertz, man. Like it to me. This is it. Also, really interested to see how the ARM works. Instead of using the other chips, I can't remember what the name of the other chips are. I'm sure that Garuda would put his glasses on. Well, actually, the other chips are called NOR. I'm super excited about this one, and I'm probably going to pick this one up. I'm probably going to pick this one up.
I'm annoyed by?
Go.
Media outlets, because for months. We've seen media outlets talk about how like Xbox is dead or Xbox is exiting hardware, right? And so now this device gets announced, and then they're back to, okay, Xbox is dead. It was like you guys gotta make up your minds, right? Because for 1 second you've been saying they're just going to focus on being a publisher, so it doesn't really matter if they're going to make hardware or not. But now, since Steam announces that they're releasing a box, all of a sudden now let's go back with, if Steam plays their cards right, Xbox is dead and they're screwed. So it's kind of like. I thought you already said that. You've been saying that for like the last 6 months or so, maybe even longer, right? That they basically are just becoming a third-party publisher. So if that's what they do, they're still not screwed because they're still going to be a third-party publisher who are just selling their games everywhere, right? So it's like that part of this whole process still annoys me, especially considering like they don't know exactly what the next Xbox is, what's going to do compared to exactly what the Steam box is going to do. But it's just always kind of opportunistic to, in any news that comes out about some type of particular hardware that's launching, to lump Xbox in it for clicks and basically put it in a negative light, which is really disingenuous. That's my little gripe in my little soapbox. I want to get my bars off real quick.
Mo says Xbox has been dead for 25 years.
It's like a zombie. You know what I'm saying? It's been dead for so long, right? Yet it still exists.
Yep.
It's just very, 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 very annoying.
Yeah, I just think it's more competition. And again, it's, to your point, you just sort of said it matter-of-factly, and I don't think a lot of people have accepted this. It's like, Xbox has become the publisher that does hardware. You know what I mean? Instead of the hardware platform holder that publishes their games on their platform. There's been a bit of a shift. And we've talked about that many, many times. But, like, as that is the point, and as I said from, I think it was 2021, I've been saying, like, I don't think Xbox is going to sell their hardware at a loss. Now we know 100%. They're definitely not going to sell their hardware at a loss. Like, they're not trying to bring you into the hardware. It's obvious with everything that they're doing. They're not trying to bring people into the hardware. You want the hardware? That's cool. We'll sell it to you, make a profit of that, and we'll publish our games everywhere. That's not killing Xbox. That's Xbox making a shift to publishing where, like, monetarily is fantastic for them. They're making more profit than they ever have before. So this whole Xbox is dead. I think it's in a way there has been a bit of a death of their previous strategy, right? The previous strategy was the hardware strategy. Yeah. Now they're in a publisher strategy. So if people want to say, like, the Xbox is going to die in that way, like, cool.
And that's been the case for forever, right? That's been the case for the last 2 gens, technically, right? They've lost that particular. They've ceded that to both PlayStation and Nintendo. So it's kind of like at some point the narrative is, like, you guys got to change your narrative and upgrade it at some point, right? Are they still, is the division a profitable division for the company? And if the answer to that is yes, then they're not dead, right? And if they're not specifically making it a goal to sell more hardware than whatever the other competitors are doing with inside of the marketplace, then still, again, I don't see how that makes them dead, considering that that's not what their goal is, right? So it's just kind of like, it's just something to get clicks and draw traffic. And it's contradictory to, like, the narrative that's just been out there for a very long time. But again, we'll see how things start to unfold as we actually start seeing these devices start to hit the market and people get to see how they perform. And I'm pretty optimistic on whatever the next Xbox is going to be, especially kind of seeing this box actually made me a little bit more optimistic because it makes the vision a little bit more clear.
Yeah. I just want to call out BT Mavericks, and this is not 100% not true, but it is funny. He said Riskit is the guy from Memento paying the prostitute to pretend that she's a console. Not true at all. And shout out to Lotus Esprit with the 1 membership to Thatch. Shout out to Thatch, long-time supporter. Shout out to Lotus Esprit. We appreciate you both. Holly, how are you feeling about this headset? Is this one going to stay in the box? Like, what's the thoughts? Are you thinking about getting this one?
I do want this one. It has a much broader range, right? And plus, like BT also pointed out, you can use this headset with the next Xbox, right? Because it'll be all Steam everywhere. I think this one looks great. I'm a little scared of the price, to be honest, because that's a lot of kit. It's a lot of tech. But we all know the woes of the PSVR 2, and I don't support the Zuck, so I won't get a MetaQuest. So I'm stuck waiting until somebody else comes out with something, and then here comes Gabe Newell. Like, I'm your Huckleberry, right? Here's a little VR headset for you, and it's better. And I'm all for it. The only thing that stinks is that there are quite a few games that have been made exclusive to the MetaQuest, which I think is super ridiculous to have any VR game locked to a headset because how small the market is. It's crazy. Yeah. Right? So, I mean, I hope that with Valve entering the game with this, that those silly buyouts for exclusivity on those is kind of goes the way of the dodo. They probably did it more than anything because obviously Meta is the biggest one in the game. So they were probably more than likely doing it just because they were like, well, there's really just one big player, so we might as well just take the money and do one port and not have to do, 3 ports or whatever it is, right? So with Valve coming in, I think it'll be much more broad spectrum.
I'm just happy that this will then give people an opportunity to play the best VR game there is if they end up getting the Steam box and getting their headset, which is Half-Life Alyx, because it's still the best VR experience that's ever been made, in my opinion. So that if that gets more people to experience that, I think that's a win for Valve in that regard. And
that's
to me,
what everybody says that game is like legendary.
It is. It's one of the most immersive gaming experiences I've ever had in my whole life. Where it's I can't properly describe it. It sucks for anyone who like can't play VR, because I know a lot of people who play it that they just get sick, right? They can't deal with the motion sickness. But if you're not someone who has that issue and you decide to try VR, I highly recommend playing Half-Life Alyx. It's one of those type of great gaming experiences that you always remember.
The Batman game was exclusive to MetaQuest.
All right, yeah.
Wasn't it one of the Star Wars games too? Like was it one of those type of games, like some type of?
They bought a few random. I really hate that VR has any sort of bought exclusivity. I think that's so silly,
especially for something that you're trying to get to take off that doesn't have enough, market cap. It hasn't become mainstream enough for you. Exactly. So it's like you want to get as many people possible playing these games as opposed to only come to get our hardware to play this game. So kind of weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah, I mean, I think like there would be, if you build the market a bit, sort of have that democratization at the start, and then pull the corporate. Well, we're taking these because we've got a bit of a market. I could see that as being beneficial to the company as you go sort of forward. But yeah, I think it's a bit of a small market to be pulling that shit. Now, apparently that Batman game was it wasn't Half-Life Alyx level, but it was actually really good. All the reviews that came back for it were awesome. But for me, Half-Life Alyx is one of those games that I really wanted to play. But that foveated sort of eye tracking actually helps with motion sickness. So could be something that people could revisit with the Steam frame and just sort of check it out, see if it does sort of minimize that nauseated feeling. But yeah, I'm hyped. As soon as I was like, oh, and then when they were like, it's wireless. 1, 2, you don't need a Steam machine to be using it. Sold. all the specs in it, 144 hertz, all the specs, the way it works. You're right, the price is probably going to be like up there. But then also it's an open ecosystem, so I'm sure there's stuff you can sideload onto VR to do all the things that MetaQuest does. You know what I mean? Like hook it up to your PC, be typing and doing your stuff in the living room whilst you like stuck something to a wall on Word or whatever. So for me, fantastic. And I don't know why people don't support the Zuck. We won't get into that. I don't support nor not support. I don't really give a shit like about Zuck. He does.
And
whatever.
the Index is a better piece of hardware anyway. So you get a headset.
What's the Index?
That's Valve's hardware.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've never. And
the Vive is pretty good too, right?
Yeah, Vive was like one of the first ones that I remember playing with. My boy, actually, he has the Vive, so that's like my first experience. But I think the Index, even still to this day, I mean, there's a couple other that have like better resolution and like better field of view, but still like comparable to most of the ones on the market. Index is still kind of considered one of the top rated ones. I don't think they've kind of changed in price a bit though, so it's kind of expensive. But to me, it was well worth it. Like I have a blast with it whenever I bust out my rig. I just wish that they would release another version of it where maybe I don't need to set up the tracking pods. You know, we got to put them on. You got to put one on different sides of the room. So if they had one that's similar where it's built into the headset where it just maps out the room for you, so that way you don't have something additional you got to set up. Yeah, because otherwise, like some people I know, like they have theirs like permanently set up within their walls, right? So they got one in certain quarters in certain rooms that they play VR. But me, I have them on stands, so I bust out my stand and I have to set it up, and like that's the whole deterrent of like. Oh, if I want to play, you know what I'm saying?
Not a lot, but
VR,
it's just enough, right?
Let me go grab and set these things up, and then set up my area, make sure the tracking is good, and yeah, that's a little bit of a deterrent. Where if you can just put the headset on and it looks at the room and it's like I see your space, you're good to go. I'll tell you if you get too close to something that you're gonna bump into. That's what Valve needs to do for whatever if they're going to make another one. That's what I hope that they figure out.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it is accurate when it sort of scans the room, because it'd be nothing worse than like, there goes my $2,000 TV.
Yep.
Yeah. And VR gaming is great, but it's cost me a lot of money. So no. The other thing. Look, before I jump on the next topic, please hit the like button, share us out. We go live on Fridays sometimes.
Sometimes.
No, 7:30.
At least she's being honest.
Yeah, PM EST. Yeah, like the new job is different, so I'm trying to sort of figure out how this is going to work. At the moment, I've got 6 weeks off, so it's going to be every Friday, and then that's going to change. So I'll talk to you guys about it in the green room show. But hey, BO7, Black Ops 7. Has anyone had a chance to play this yet?
No, I haven't played the campaign yet.
Yeah,
it's not in.
I downloaded
GP, right?
It's not.
It is. It's not part of GP.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
It is.
Okay.
208 gigs. I downloaded it today.
That's for both the multi and the campaign, though, right?
Everything. Yeah.
That's everything, right? It's a lot of
beefcake.
A lot of game. A lot of game.
That's COD, man. COD's like you either have COD downloaded or everything else. Or you like have it on that. That's your what Grey Monad said. It's whacked. Yeah, looking at the campaign. So I had a look at
I'm gonna play it just to see. I'm seeing different opinions, and I see a lot of people are, and that's what I'm saying. I want to play it co-op
would like
too,
to play
Holly.
it co-op.
Let's play it co-op.
Do you want to play it co-op?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm down. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I just got disinvited. It's all right.
It's up to 4 people. If you want to be awake in American freedom units, then
what's your excuse now?
There is no freedom units. There is only the metric system. I'm down to play a co-op. I'm down to check it out. But like, dude, campaign looks weird. Like really weird, man. Like it's not a military shooter. Like what's happening? Why is there big? Why do you have like a zombie team in what? I think it's getting a little ridiculous. Is what I think.
I think they're just
I'm-
they're leaning more into like the like I want to say gaming, but like you know what I'm saying, like it's a game and let's expand and go with it as opposed to making it like a mil sim. You know,
Mhm.
where usually for those type of games, the campaign is trying to stick to becoming like being grounded, make it a mil sim. And it's like, all right, well, how long can you do that? So they're just leaning into like it's a video game. Let's see where we can take this. And I think if it's executed right, that's fine, right? But if the story's ridiculous and it's not executed right, then it's that fine line. But I'm okay if they're saying, hey, we're not going to do just the standard campaign that's a mil sim, and you know you've seen this story 100 times before.
Yeah, I mean, it's sitting at an 84 on Metacritic, which is roughly around where they said. I think even Black Ops 6 was sitting at 86 or 89 or something. Like it was Black Ops 6 is one of the best campaigns, and I think best Call of Duties we've had. After a run of actually pretty good Call of Duties, except for 3. I think Modern Warfare 1 was great, Modern Warfare 2 was great. 3 wasn't great.
Garbo.
Yeah, and then jumping into Black Ops 6, I think like it was a pretty good run. Like for COD, because normally it is like good, very good, kind of okay, shit, and then good, very good, kind of okay, shit. That's generally the cycle that we see with COD. Like that's for me, that's how it's been. Like I hate a Cold War. I don't like it when it goes really arcadey. You know, like super arcadey, and it's they lean into
like
that.
Cold
And
War.
yeah, I just didn't, man.
The
It just
campaign.
was so arcadey.
Talking about the campaign.
Oh, campaign was good.
Campaign.
Yeah, campaign was good. Oh yeah, I love the campaign.
yeah.
I didn't buy it because I played the I only recently played it. I think it was when Modern Warfare 2 launched. And then I got Cold War cheap. And I didn't play the campaign because I played the multiplayer, like the tryout. You know, you get like a couple of hours to try it out. And I was like, ooh, no. So yeah, for me, but look, I'll give this a go. It's on Game Pass. But from what I'm seeing, I'm not liking. I didn't like the multiplayer. I played the beta, and I did not like. I was like, this is not it, dude. Like this is just way too arcadey for me, and twitchy, and it's just not. It's not for me. But I'll try the campaign, see how we go, and then hopefully this is their shit cycle, and we get really, really good on the next one. But just for reference, in Phase 23 Brooklyn is actually something that I was going to mention. So Phase 23 Brooklyn with the $20 super chat. Thank you, sir, for supporting the show. One of our favorite ponies. Where's Bobby Hawk? Call of Duty. Call of Duty peaked at 86 concurrent players on Steam. 86K, sorry, 86,000 concurrent players on Steam for the release day of Black Ops 7. 1 year ago, it was upwards of 300,000 with Black Ops 6. And for reference, Arc Raiders reached over 400K today, and Battlefield 6 hit 200,000.
Battlefield 6 right now is sitting at 236. Arc Raiders is sitting at 354 right now, and COD is sitting at 86,000 currently right now. So I mean that has to be a little concerning for them, right? Especially at release. The one thing I would say is that this one's what Treyarch. And it's like it's for whatever reason I feel like some of the consensus, I don't know if it's fair or not, because I'm not. Holly, you can probably give a better opinion on this, but I feel like for people who play COD, they're less excited about the Treyarch releases compared to
Treyarch's normally the one.
Am I looking at that wrong? Okay, so who's the one they have an issue with?
Infinity Ward's.
Yeah. People usually care about Infinity Ward's release. They usually care about theirs. Yeah.
No, so there's the two big ones. The two, like, you either like that one or you like the other one, is generally like you either like the Infinity Ward releases and you don't like the Treyarchs, or you like the Treyarchs and you don't like the Infinity Wards. Infinity Ward was the original studio. That's the one that I like. They generally go more realistic, and they have and then there's a third studio.
Sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer. Everyone hates Sledgehammer. Like Sledgehammer is never usually.
Holly, which ones do you prefer in terms of between the studios?
But Treyarch's more liked usually than Infinity Ward. I'm on the opposite. I like Infinity Ward. Holly?
I don't necessarily have a defined preference, just because I like the realistic ones, but I also like the futuristic ones. So, and then Riskit doesn't like the futuristic ones like at all. and Infinite Warfare was a really good campaign. He won't. I
Ooh.
bet. Yeah, he doesn't like it, but it's a very good campaign. So I don't really subscribe the same way a lot of other people do for that kind of thing. For me, it's a little more case by case. So it's hard to say.
Infinity Ward was Vince Van Zampella's studio after he left Medal of Honor.
I went to the internets, and the internet says you're wrong.
What does it say?
Some random site on the internet said you're wrong, Riskit.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
random site on the internet said Infinity Ward's 1, Treyarch's 2, Sledgehammer 3. So I trust this random site because it backs up my opinion.
Yeah. So from what I've been told, or from what I hear from
random
people,
site. What's the site? Random site.
The gamer and Big Mad Mo actually agrees with most of the way I rank them. I'm like, I'm Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, but generally I don't think Infinity Ward's made one that I don't like. Treyarch's made quite a few I don't like, and Sledgehammer has never made one that I like. That's not true actually, because Sledgehammer I think had a lot to do with 2, Modern Warfare 2, the most recent one.
Modern Warfare 2 is very good.
It is.
Yeah, it was very good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I really wish they would do again. It just really irritates me. It irritates me because I saw somebody in the chat say I never download the campaign, and I'm like, like this is why we got Black Ops 4, right, with no campaign, because, and I'm telling you guys, like, I know you play Call of Duty for the multiplayer, I get it, but if you play single player games at all, right, like, I get it, if you're straight only a multiplayer person all year round, I get why you don't play the campaign, but if you play any other single player games through the year, you really need to play the campaigns for these games, because most of these games, because genuinely they are like Michael Bay movies. They are so freaking good. Black Ops 6 was a phenomenal campaign. It is fantastic. You should really go play that. And that's what's frustrating, is like Call of Duty actually has a lot of other content in it besides just the battle royale and the multiplayer, right? Like
it's a third of the game, right? The campaign is a third of the game, like, because you've got your 3 pieces. You've got your multiplayer, your Warzone, and your campaign.
But they also,
and it's a lengthy campaign too. It's not. I mean, it's
Black
Ops
not like 6 is lengthy.
Yeah, it's not like this thing is over in 2 to 3 hours, which I think one of the previous ones before that was over.
That's what she said.
And like
most COD campaigns are like 6 to 8 hours, so like it's not even that much, right? Like you could really,
I mean,
it's not that
6 to 8 hours is a good size, right? 6 to 8.
Yeah,
6 to 8
but
hours.
I'm saying, shut up. So, but you should definitely really give those campaigns a good chance, because there are a lot of us out there that do like the campaigns, and it makes me sad when I hear that, because I don't like. They deserve more credit than they get. But also, the other thing they did, which I've been trying to get to, is in Modern Warfare 2, they did one of the best things they've ever done, and they added raids, and they added them in incrementally. And those raids were hard. They were fantastic. And fun. They were so much fun. And it required really good teamwork. They did a really bad job with the matchmaking on those. They should have done better, but they didn't. I don't feel like they promoted them well enough. But those raids, if any of you have 2 friends and you can all access Modern Warfare 2, it is some of the best time you will ever have in gaming, period, full stop. It's so much fun.
Thank you, Holly. I am fun to play with. That's true.
Yes, I did play those with Riskit.
it was crazy hard too, and it was like required communication. There was frustrations, there was happiness, there was all emotional roller coasters were had on that Modern Warfare. And when you
say like a raid, like it's like you're going into a particular area and it's like, hey, we're going to probably be in here for like an hour or so.
It's like no, it's a mission, and it depending on your squad, it could take hours, but you can't pause in the middle of it. You have to do the whole raid. But there's like save sections, right? In it. So but once you start, you have to keep going to finish the raid. And it's like a really long mission. Well, not really.
Yeah. So
It's not
an
necessarily
actual
long,
raid.
long.
So
It
it's kinda
depends
like
on
doing
how
a
good
raid
you
in
are.
Destiny or
It
something like
has
that.
it has platforming. It has teamwork where you have to press buttons all the time. It has like synchronized things while you're getting attacked by enemies. It's got like
It's a good
voice
size.
commands to your other teammates, right? If you're like watching a screen and you can't see them, but you can watch them moving like as a dot, you have to guide them through things. It's fantastic. They're so
Would you say
good.
it's a good? Would you say it's a good size?
Shut up.
Sorry. Yeah. Well, I was gonna say like it's like all jokes aside, because good size, hilarious. But like it's the length of the mission isn't really the thing. It's more like how long it takes you to get through it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
The
depending
teamwork.
on.
Yeah.
It could be like hours, or you could do it in like like half an hour, like depending on how well you guys play together as a team. But yeah, they were fantastic. I think they should bring them back, and they should have promoted them a bit more. And I think that was more of the when Destiny 2 style sort of thing. You know, Destiny 2, you'd go in with a raid and everyone would do their thing. I think COD was dipping their toe in the water, but they didn't. They nailed it. Like it was perfect, there wasn't enough done with it. Same with Gauntlet on Battlefield 6. Like, honestly, Gauntlet is some of the best fun I've had on a Battlefield game, which is super, super surprising. Like, teaming up with 4 guys against 4 other teams, or like, I think you start out with like 6 other teams, and then it whittles down to like 1 team versus 1 team. So good. So good. Really loving that. Yeah, I guess this is I'll play the campaign, but this is the shit one. But back to your point as well, Donte, it's because Infinity Ward wasn't doing zombies for a very long time. So Infinity Ward wouldn't add a zombies sort of mode to their thing. And as Holly was saying, like it's a bit of a package thing, right? And thanks for Mad Mo for pointing that out in the chat as well, because we sort of missed that. So it's like a quarter of the game. You have your campaign, you've got your zombies, you got your multiplayer, you got your Warzone. As like that whole package thing. And I think if you're not playing one of those, like I'm not really a big fan of zombies, so that's why it never really bothered me that Infinity Ward didn't do it. But a lot of people love it, and I always play it a little bit just to go like, yeah, it's good, get a feel for it, and it is part of the package. And if you haven't been downloading the campaign, you're a scrub. Sort yourself out, right? Go look yourself in the mirror, have that conversation. Talking to the man in the mirror. Sorry.
How can I unhear that? How can I unhear that?
I think you got to do that. Yeah, look, it's always disappointing though when COD, you know what I mean? Because like, why do we do this in cycles? Like, surely you could get to a cycle where it's like good, but we just never seem to get to that cycle with COD. It's always like, great, good, shit. And then we're going to recycle it again. And next year it might be good, great, shit. But it's always a shit one. But I mean, like Holly does you like the futuristic stuff, so that's cool. Did you play the multiplayer, Holly?
Holly, question for you. What's the one with what was the futuristic one with
Advanced Warfare with Kevin
Is that the one
Spacey?
Kit Harington? Another one, yeah. Did they have Kit Harington?
Oh, Kit Harington is Infinite Warfare.
Infinite Warfare? Okay. Is that one available
good.
on what's the name yet? Because I actually hear good things about that campaign
That one's
for that
really
one.
good.
So is that one available on Game Pass or no?
None of the CODs are available on Game Pass except Modern Warfare 2 and 3.
Oh god. I wouldn't pay money for that.
Black Ops. I don't know why they don't. It's worth it. Just put it on your wish list and watch for it to be cheap, because it is absolutely worth it. It's really good.
It should be free if you're on Game Pass.
It should be.
Now that's a whole other topic.
Be.
Like the ridiculousness of not having all Activision games available on Game Pass is
especially the campaigns. Like, why?
It's just everything. Like, from
Yeah,
Spyro to whatever.
The campaign at least should be available, right? I should be able to go back and even if you do it where you're like, we're gonna put like these ones, like these versions into Game Pass, rotate them in and out, right? Yeah. These are gonna be in for the next 3 months, right? And then here are the next, you know what I'm saying? Like, and keep rotating them in and out. Even if you do it that way, I think it's fine. But to just be like, If you want to go back and purchase it, that's a little.
Here's
a
it's
little
in the
greedy.
store for full
It's a little
price.
greedy.
Mhm.
Greedy.
Like I wanted to play Black Ops 2, which I just did, and I just put it like it was full price in the store, and I'm like, this game's like 13 years old or 15 years old. Like, why? And I just put it on the wish list, and eventually I got it for like 10, 15 bucks, something like that. So you just gotta watch it. And especially with Black Friday and all of that coming up, you could probably put it on your wish list and it'll probably come up at some point pretty cheap.
Fuzzy's saying there's 5 or so CODs on Game Pass right now. Which 5 are on Game Pass right now? Are some on there?
I don't think
Modern Warfare 2, 3, and Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7 is 4.
Yeah,
Okay.
so pretty much the ones that have released since.
more
And
recent
Call of Duty World at War, not World at War, the World War II one. That's also on there as well.
Gotcha.
So that is
the more recent releases.
Yeah, the more recent ones. I don't know why they're not bringing out the older. Look, we got to jump to the next topic before we do. Hit the like button, share us out. We go live some Fridays at 7:30 p.m. EST. Share us out. Hey, Grandma, this is going to be a conversation. I imagine that the Twitter numbers will bump up in a minute when someone starts hearing that we're talking about this. But PlayStation is going full multi-plat. What the hell happened? What is this? This is the weirdest move I have ever. This is not something I expected to see from PlayStation. It's weird, right? So if you don't know, been living under a rock, the Horizon MMORPG has been revealed, but is not coming to PlayStation. It is going to be available on. It's called Horizon Steel Frontiers. It actually looks okay. And I'm not a big fan of Horizon, as you know. I said it's boring as batshit, but it's releasing on Steam and mobile. What the fuck happened? On PC and mobile. Sorry, I'm not even going to call it PC anymore because every time.
And Nintendo, right? I thought it was Nintendo too.
Is it coming Nintendo? It might actually be. It seems like. But I had a look at it. I'm like, it's coming to mobile. Like, it's going to be one of them, though. You know, that game that's going to have all the monetization crap in it. It's going to be terrible graphics. And then I had a look at it, and I was like, oh, this actually looks okay. And it looks a little bit more actiony and not quite as slow as the original Horizon. And I didn't bother with the second one because why would you? And I suppose that was probably a bad assumption on my part because they have always made beautiful games. Yeah, anime Nintendo, I don't think so, man. Horizon is not better than Tsushima. Tsushima was good. Long, but good. And that's what she said. So Holly, strange to you, Donte? Strange to you? Feels like very weird move coming from PlayStation. Seems like it's maybe a signal to their fan base that hey, we're going full multi-plat here, and this is sort of the future of our games, and especially with one of their tentpole titles. Tentpole title, man, what the hell? And I'm also a little bit surprised based on the release platforms that it's not coming to Xbox, but I suppose that makes sense because iOS and it's a PC game. So, yeah, Donte, I guess we'll jump to you. Like a bit weird, right? Like not something I expected PlayStation to do or ever.
You think they have data though that shows if their console base actually plays those type of games? I mean, that's the only thing that kind of can make sense to me. Where it's like,
it's just a mobile game.
Like, is it? Is that why it's not going to iOS? Is it just a mobile game? Because I saw very little about this thing.
Yeah,
it's not just I no, because that's what I thought as well. Let me see if I can get it. I mean, the sharing would be great, but
I guess that's why I just didn't pay attention because I was like, it's just a mobile game. What are people making a big deal about? But
it doesn't. I thought the same thing, and I'm like, oh well, we'll watch this trailer and see like what the go is, and I was like, actually, it looks like it's a pretty decent, pretty decent graphically as well as. Let me just get this thing like queued up so I can sort of pop it on screen here.
About that. I know that Herman Hulst worked for Guerrilla Games. I know that, right? And I played the first Horizon. I platinumed it. I had a very good time with it. I haven't played the second one yet. I just haven't gotten around to it. I haven't bought it. but I I feel like there's not a lot of organic growth with Horizon. I feel like it's being forced. Like it's almost like force feeding
That
for
part
people
where I'm like, is it
to
as really big as they're making it seem? Because it seems like they're
yeah,
trying
See?
their best to make it
they're
bigger than it
yeah,
is.
it's like they're not letting it speak for itself. They're just like shoving it down your throat. Like, you like Horizon, right? Right? Like, you're gonna like Horizon. You better like Horizon because we've put all of our cards in making Horizon as big as we think it is, right? And and the story was good and the world is interesting. Like, there's a lot of good in it. I just don't know that I think it is as monumental as they're trying to make it be.
You know, I agree. I agree. I mean, I've never been a massive fan of it. It doesn't seem like the tentpole title, right? I think what if we talk about PlayStation's the tentpole titles, you know, God of War.
Yeah, but maybe
Or
that's the reason why, because like, you know, they've done so much with God of War, you know, in terms of how far they are with inside of the that franchise, right? And we don't see anything happening for Uncharted. So they're probably looking at like what's been our most recent kind of
Well, they've got
tentpole game.
Last of Us, they've got Astrobot,
Right, but
they've got
they had canceled their
Ratchet
Last of
and
Us kind of
Clank.
multiplayer thing, right? So they can't do this with Last of Us since they canceled the one multiplayer thing they had going for Last of Us, right? You know, they let Bungie come in and say, "Hey, this thing isn't ready for prime time," and then they shelve that. So maybe they're saying like, we want something that could have continuous players, right? That to be like, you know,
Like
their
an
no life
MMO,
game.
yeah.
And so
yeah,
this is our most recent biggest IP that potentially we can do that with, since we don't have, since, you know, like they're not going to do that with God of War, right? They're not going to create some type of game like that for God of War within that universe. That would be a multiplayer game, and they're not going to do it with Last of Us, especially unless they've started work on a new multiplayer for Last of Us. I'm going to doubt that. You know, I'm doubting Naughty Dog is working on something. I think they're completely focused on Intergalactic at this point.
Druckmann has said he started working on 3 though.
Okay, yeah, but I'm talking about
that's
like
different.
they're not
That's not a
multiplayer.
live
Yeah,
service.
that's the single
Yeah,
player component of it, right? So, and unless they were going to give that to somebody else, I think they're afraid to just actually create their own thing.
It
You know,
is
like
weird
create their
though.
own new IP that could be multiplayer, or you know what I'm saying, like just create your own for some reason. And like whether you don't have to bring back Killzone, you can just create something new. But it seems like they're kind of afraid to do that, so they're kind of going back into the IPs and just playing with the safe hits.
yeah, yeah. But then again, I would say also that Horizon does sort of lend itself to the like the MMO space, right? And I think Mo said that this looks better than the original, and it kind of does. There's some gameplay I've got sort of queued up as well, which I'll from the same video, which I'll
Kind of reminding me a little bit of Monster Hunter. If I'm looking at it correctly.
Yeah.
It's looking like Monster Hunter.
It's yeah. I mean, and obviously you want to model yourself after something that's been successful. So maybe that's sort of their focus. Phase 23 Brooklyn said Horizon MMO, you have to use the purple emulator on PC. I don't think people have a problem with that, bro. Like it'll just be people just do what they got to do to get in there and play it. But yeah, I mean, I agree as well. It does seem like they're sort of forcing Horizon, right? We've had Horizon Lego, and then we've had, you know, they could have done a God of War Lego. That would have been really, really good, actually. It would have been, you know, because obviously there's a fair bit of humor to be had in there. But I agree, man. It does feel like they're forcing it. It's not the title that you would use. But then for an MMO, it does make sense, right? But then you saying, I think you were saying that like God of War is probably not the game. I think you could also do a pretty decent MMO in the God of War universe, right? In that,
right.
In that,
but like
sort of.
But it's like no one's gonna be like everyone can't be Kratos in that, right? So you're just, you know what I'm saying? Like the big allure for God of War is that's Kratos. I think you could probably sub out different, like even though what's the main character name for Horizon? What's her name? Help me out here.
Aloy.
Well, yeah. I think if the next game featured a completely different character, it would still be fine as long as the gameplay was good and the story was good, because that universe lends some breadth to that, right? You have this ability where it could be different characters within that universe who could basically end up being interesting or whatnot. God of War is really interesting because of Kratos. So it's kind of like, what characters would people play within that universe if you're not Kratos, and you can't have everybody playing the same character. So that's probably why to me, that's why that doesn't work for like an MMO versus this. You could have all types of hunters in this particular universe being in an MMO.
Well, this is the gameplay, by the way, that's on screen now, and it actually looks like, you know, if you're looking at a mobile sort of game, this is obviously on PC, but it actually looks pretty decent, right? Like it looks good. And then the talk that they had, I actually sat and listened to the video, was like, you know, it's going to be a whole sort of living world as you would have an MMO, a whole living MMO. Like it's, yeah, it actually sounds better than the original game. This, I think the world does lend itself to this, and it looks like it looks actually pretty fun. And I'll probably jump into it if I get my Steam box, and you know, I would play it on PlayStation, which I already have, but it's not available. No, my Steam machine. It's a console under the TV box. But I would play it on PlayStation. It's not available on PlayStation, which is crazy. Like, why is that though? Why do we feel like that's not happening? It just has been easy. It just as easily should have launched on. Like, why did they do that? What's the decision making behind that? I would
I'm just saying, I can't. Have they looked at MMOs within PlayStation to see if their players are playing it, and if it made sense to divert resources to make sure they had it ready for PlayStation release as well? Have they looked at data and said, right now this doesn't make sense for us because we, you know, our attach rate on people would probably be pretty low for the resources and the cost to make it available.
Same argument could be sort of made for the, like, you know, why they're sort of pushing Horizon greatly. Maybe they've got good data that people play like a lot of it and go through the whole campaign. So maybe that as well. But like, again, just the optics of like launching one of your tentpoles, you know, a new release for that, or not on your own platform is wild. Like absolutely wild. Like, especially coming from PlayStation, who was like the exclusive box, you know, like, I mean,
I just think I think it's probably a safe bet to think that most people who play MMOs are playing on PC and mobile. I don't think that's far-fetched compared to console.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think that's why they're focusing on those particular platforms, because that's where most of the players are for MMOs.
Yeah, I mean, and so let's assume that's true though. But like, what are the optics of not launching your title on PlayStation? The optics don't look good, and it says something to its player base. Like, I mean, and
it says you guys don't play these damn games. It says you don't play MMOs on the console, so we're not focusing on y'all. So like, how are they going to be mad at people who are like, oh well, I just wanted the option, even if we weren't going to play it? You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares? Like, they save money. Is if the people who they want to play this game are the people who are on PC, or excuse me, on PC and mobile, are the ones who end up playing this game, and the, you know, let's say a few 100,000 or 1 million people on console were going to play it, and they don't. I don't think they're tripping too much because they saved resources, or it just maybe wasn't ready yet, right? Maybe we hear something 6 months down the line and it's like, boom, here you go, here's a PlayStation version. But I think my thoughts on it is that it's because of those are where the players are for these type of games, and they're not too concerned about the people on console who rarely play the game who are going to bitch a little bit about it.
Well, I mean, also Monster. You said it was like very much of a Monster Hunter clone. Like, Monster Hunter sold 3 million copies on PlayStation alone, right?
Yeah, so I think it looks like that. I mean, but I don't know if I consider Monster Hunter like an MMO, but it looks like it from what you showed me.
I guess, but yeah, it's probably not MMO, but like it's in that similar vein, right? So what if you had a Monster Hunter that was then MMO? Keep people coming back to it as well. You're keeping people in your system. I can't make sense of this. Like, I get that they're like, maybe people aren't playing the MMOs, but I mean, you have your tentpole title that would have some currency, you know, for like people to buy it and play it. you know, and it looks beautiful. Like, I mean, look, it's look at this now on screen. It's you know, there's your character creator and all that sort of stuff. I can't make sense of it, dude. I really can't make sense of it. It's just a weird move from PlayStation. I think it signals that
I think Gray may have a point here in terms of what Gray just said, that like maybe because I think probably this, I don't think this is far fetched either. I think the large market for MMOs is between, you know, like in Asia for the most part, right? I think that's fair to say. That's probably where the bulk of MMO players are. And if this is the target that particular audience, it kind of makes sense as well. I don't think that's a far-fetched statement.
Yeah. Is it free? I don't think so, Anime. I don't know for sure, but I would say anything coming from PlayStation never has that price tag. So I would be surprised if it is, but if it is, like great. But Holly, what do you think? Is it strange move from PlayStation, or is this expected, or how you feeling about this?
I don't really care. It's not something I'm interested in. I'm sorry. I don't know. It is weird that it's not, because there is such a large player base on PlayStation, but then again, Dante's point about MMOs is very valid. A lot of them require, you know, like World of Warcraft. I don't even know how you would ever port that to a console, right? Just given the commands and things that you need for that. So maybe this game has stuff like that. That's my guess. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Like, it looks decent, but I just don't really have any interest in it. I'm more interested to see how well it does.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, as well as they canceled it. I think it was a God of War MMO that they had sort of in the works. I would just think that would do better, but I mean, obviously they're going to look at the games, comparatively and go, well, this Horizon looks a little bit better than the God of War. Maybe the God of War one was just planned for PlayStation. So, but I think there was rumors to say it was Multiplat as well. So yeah, I mean, it's just weird. It's a weird time we live in. Like, PlayStation's launching games not on their own system, on a PC and mobile sort of thing, and we want to meet the players where they are and all that sort of stuff. Maybe it is a brave new world for consoles and for all this sort of stuff. But yeah, crazy to me. Well, look, we'll wrap it up because that's all we've got time for this week. Good show. Good to see you guys come back and support us. Look, I'm sorry about the I do have to apologize about the infrequency of the show lately. Just things in my life have changed a little bit, and I need to get back to some normalcy. I've got a little bit of time off, so I'll do a bit of a reshuffle with the show, like insofar as all of our maybe take out that whole Perfect Dark game out of the intro, some stuff like that, and try to get some normalcy back and sort out how we're gonna move going forward. And obviously all the guys in the panel, obviously busy and stuff. So we need to sort of all catch up, sit down, see how we want to roll going forward. But yeah, thank you guys for coming through and supporting us. And thank you, obviously, Donte and Holly for putting up with my infrequent last minute changes to show times and show days and all that sort of stuff. So, and for not making Donte a mod for like, I don't know, God, has it been like over a year or something? Yeah. I don't even know. Don't let people know where they can find you, what you're up to, and how things and
as always, a huge shout out to everybody within the chat. Thank you guys for coming and rock out with us. We really appreciate you guys. Can't say it enough. Catch me on the socials, Donte J Moody. Obviously catch us here on Fridays. Hope you guys all have a good weekend. If you guys haven't played Outer Worlds 2, get on that. And if you're thinking about playing, help me out, Holly. What's the game?
Arc Raiders.
Arc Raiders. Play some Arc Raiders. If you think about playing it, play it. It's fun. It's fun. Even if you're not too familiar with extraction shooters, give it a shot. I think it's a good experience. So that's all I got.
Yeah. As we say in Australia, fucking A. Holly, let people know where they can find you, what you'd be up to, how things are going, what's happening, and things and stuff. New videos?
What? What was the last thing?
Any new videos, or have you been playing Arc Raiders too much? It's a problem. Gaming or videos? Gaming or videos?
I've had, as you might recall, I've had a little bit of internet problems now and again. So the last couple weeks I've been a little MIA with that, but I am making an unboxing video. I got a guy to come out and work on the internet yesterday, so fingers crossed that it's all good now. I am attempting to get my unboxing video done for the ROG Ally X that I won.
PlayStation 2 headset? Oh, sorry, my bad.
And then also, we have hit the mother load with new coins. So we have Helldivers coins. We have, I don't have them with me, plus the camera won't zoom in on them right. We have Helldivers coins, we have Outer Worlds coins, stop it. And we have Ninja Gaiden 4. And very soon Call of Duty. So we got a whole bunch. So be watching for the shows, for the giveaways. That Outer Worlds coin is chef's kiss. It's
I think good. I put my hand up for the next one. I think it was the Helldivers ones. I definitely wanted to give away. But I wouldn't mind doing a run of all those. So I'll hit up Ben and touch base and see how we can do a run of coin giveaways on the show, and also talk to you because obviously you're the business partner and the speaker of the coins. Back to you, Holly. Sorry.
Yeah.
Interrupt.
No. You can just go through me. It works. So anyway, we have a whole bunch, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna get back to streaming. I would like to stream some Arc Raiders maybe a little bit, and I want to finish Baby Steps. I love Baby Steps, and I was mad I had to stop playing it for Spooky October, but I want to keep going in it. It's weirdly brilliant. It's very good. So that's it.
Australian too, but Australians are weirdly brilliant. So thank you, Holly, for that compliment. We appreciate it. Again, shout out to the guys in the chat. If you want to find any one of us, you can head down to the description, click links, and it'll take you there. Stay tuned, and I'll put out something in the community post on YouTube and on my Twitter, just to let you know what we're doing sort of going forward for next week. And fantastic show. Thanks for coming through, guys. And we'll see you all in the next one.